Caitlin Clark just made a move so big, the Indiana Fever might lose Sophie Cunningham before the season even starts. There is a massive, completely unspoken corporate hierarchy in professional sports. The casual fans blindly believe that the WNBA operates in a vacuum. They naively think the players are completely restricted to their own domestic ecosystem. But the true absolute apex predators of the sports business absolutely do not respect artificial boundaries. They do not wait for polite permission to cross corporate lines. They violently kick the boardroom doors down and simply take what they mathematically deserve. Welcome back to WNBA Pro. We absolutely do not deal in manufactured front office narratives or highly sanitized morning show propaganda. We deal strictly in the cold, unforgiving reality of corporate leverage, multi-million-dollar salary cap mathematics, and ruthless boardroom bloodletting. I need you to completely lock the doors, absolutely turn off your notifications right now, and give me your pure, undivided clinical attention today. Because while the Indiana Fever franchise is currently burning to the ground in the background, the chief executive officer is completely ignoring the local panic to execute a multi-million-dollar media takeover on a completely different network. Let us calmly analyze the sheer unadulterated corporate magnitude of Caitlin Clark's latest business maneuver. The WNBA regular season has not even officially started yet. The majority of the highly entitled legacy veterans are desperately scrambling for relevance in the crowded attention economy. But Caitlin Clark is absolutely not participating in the traditional WNBA media cycle. She just signed a highly classified, incredibly lucrative deal with NBC Sports.
As it is here, Caitlin Clark is scheduled to appear on NBC Sunday, March 29th as a special contributor for the network's Basketball Night in America pregame show. She'll provide commentary and analysis alongside Maria.
Listen to the absolute precision of that specific broadcasting announcement. I need you to critically analyze her physical positioning with the cold precision of a marketing executive. She is completely bypassing the traditional WNBA broadcasting networks. She is actively stepping directly onto the set of Basketball Night in America. She is not analyzing a college game or a meaningless WNBA preseason matchup. She is sitting at the primary desk, analyzing the New York Knicks and the Oklahoma City Thunder. She is actively sharing the absolute brightest national television spotlight with Carmelo Anthony. She is breaking down complex NBA pick-and-roll coverages alongside Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. This is absolutely not a cute, harmless off-season hobby. This is a highly sophisticated, deeply calculated, multi-million-dollar brand flex. She is loudly declaring to the entire global market that she is an absolute peer to NBA Hall of Famers. She operates on the exact same macroeconomic frequency as the absolute greatest players in human history. She is actively utilizing the massive gravitational pull of the NBA to artificially inflate her own valuation. She is building a completely unguardable shadow economy that proves she is an absolute global conglomerate trapped inside the body of a point guard. I want you to heavily contrast this absolute corporate brilliance with the behavior of the Indiana front office. What exactly is Fever head coach Stephanie White currently doing with her offseason? She is actively traveling to South Carolina to call early round, highly obscure NCAA tournament games. The head coach is moonlighting in the minor leagues while her franchise engine is analyzing the NBA. The absolute undeniable discrepancy in market leverage is completely staggering. This deeply humiliating reality perfectly highlights the massive internal chaos currently gripping the Indiana Fever. Because while Caitlin Clark is aggressively building a monopolistic enterprise, the Indiana roster is violently collapsing. The highly anticipated, massively funded WNBA expansion draft is officially locked in, and the Indiana Fever front office is currently trapped in an absolute executive nightmare. They possess the most highly viewed, incredibly lucrative offensive ecosystem on the face of the earth. But the league rules explicitly mandate a massive, highly painful sacrifice. They are legally forced to expose highly productive, incredibly valuable assets to the open market. They must actively offer up their own players to the heavily funded expansion syndicates in Portland and Toronto. Every single general manager in the league is currently sweating through their expensive corporate suits. They are mathematically, legally forced to protect exactly 5 primary assets on their roster.
So have news on Sophie Cunningham. Now, I put out to you guys that Sophie Cunningham is not going to be protected by the Indiana Fever. I believe the 5 players that will be protected will be Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hall, who's a protected free agent, Kelsey.
Listen to the cold, clinical reality of that specific protected list. I need you to completely separate your emotions from this highly volatile business transaction. The casual fan base is currently completely losing their minds over this leaked information. They are emotionally attached to the highly publicized Tres Leches chemistry. They absolutely adore Sophie Cunningham for physically protecting the franchise CEO last season. They want the front office to blindly reward her loyalty with a guaranteed roster spot. But general managers do not get paid millions of dollars to actively appease emotional fans on the internet. They get paid to execute highly ruthless, mathematically flawless corporate acquisitions. The Indiana Fever will absolutely protect Caitlin Clark without a single moment of hesitation. They will aggressively protect the highly lucrative interior defensive anchor, Aaliyah Boston. They will utilize the archaic core designation to forcefully trap Kelsey Mitchell inside the organization. They will mathematically protect Lexi Hull because she is an incredibly valuable restricted free agent, and they will use their absolute final protection slot on the rookie scale contract of Malaya Timpson. This mathematical formula explicitly, undeniably leaves Sophie Cunningham completely exposed to the expansion draft. To the uninformed consumer, this looks like an absolute betrayal of corporate loyalty. It looks like the front office is aggressively turning their backs on the ultimate enforcer. But you are a high-level operator, and you understand the brutal mechanics of sports capitalism. Let us calmly execute the unadulterated napkin math on this specific corporate maneuver. Sophie Cunningham is actively entering the offseason as an unrestricted free agent. I need you to heavily internalize the sheer, terrifying leverage of that specific legal status. An unrestricted free agent is not legally bound to any specific corporate entity. They possess the absolute freedom of movement to sign with the highest possible bidder on the open market. If the Indiana Fever actively use a highly coveted protection slot on Cunningham, it is completely meaningless. It is the absolute definition of corporate malpractice to protect an asset you do not legally control. Even if the Fever protect her from the expansion draft, she can simply walk away the very next morning. She can actively leverage their protection and immediately sign a massive contract with the Las Vegas Aces. The Fever would have completely wasted a vital protection slot for absolutely zero guaranteed return on investment. You mathematically cannot protect an expiring contract when heavily funded venture capitalists are circling the waters. You absolutely must protect the assets that are legally, contractually locked into your corporate ledger. This is exactly why protecting the rookie contract of Malaya Timpson is a mathematically flawless decision. A rookie-scale contract is the absolute most valuable financial instrument in modern professional sports. It allows billionaire owners to legally extract massive surplus value while paying an absolute fraction of the cost. If the Fever leave Timpson exposed, Portland or Toronto will aggressively poach her without a second thought. They will steal a highly controllable, artificially cheap asset directly from the Indiana bench. They must coldly, ruthlessly sacrifice the expensive, unrestricted free agent to the Wolves. But the sheer unadulterated executive brilliance of this specific strategy goes even deeper. The Indiana general manager is actively utilizing a massive, highly classified poison pill build into the new CBA. Now listen carefully to the next phase of this operation, because this is where the situation evolves from standard roster management into high-level corporate warfare. The Indiana Fever are not simply reacting to external pressure. They are actively engineering a controlled environment where every single asset on their roster is being evaluated through a purely mathematical lens. There is no room for sentiment. There is no space for nostalgia. Every decision is being made with cold.
Okay. Also, note is that the Fever can only give one core designation to a veteran this offseason and will almost certainly use that on Kelsey Mitchell. Therefore, if one of the two expansion teams were to use their pick on Cunningham, and thus give her the veteran Supermax contract as per the rules.
Calculated intent. The introduction of the new CBA has fundamentally changed the economic structure of the league. It has created highly sophisticated leverage points that only elite front offices fully understand. The so-called poison pill mechanism is not some abstract concept. It is a real, tangible financial trap designed to manipulate market behavior. It allows organizations to structure deals in a way that makes it incredibly difficult for competitors to match without severely damaging their own cap sheet. This is exactly the type of mechanism the Indiana Fever are preparing to deploy. They understand that while Sophie Cunningham may not be a controllable asset in the traditional sense, she still holds significant market value. By exposing her to the expansion draft and allowing the market to dictate her price, they are effectively forcing rival organizations to reveal their financial intentions. This is not passive. This is active intelligence gathering at the highest level. At the same time, they are preserving their internal core with absolute precision. Caitlin Clark remains the central economic engine. Aaliyah Boston provides structural stability on both ends of the floor. Kelsey Mitchell is being strategically locked into place through designation rules that limit her mobility. Lexi Hull represents future flexibility, and Michaela Timpson embodies cost-controlled upside. This is not a random collection of names. This is a deliberately constructed portfolio. What you are witnessing is not chaos. It only appears that way to observers who are emotionally invested. In reality, this is a controlled burn. The Indiana Fever are willingly sacrificing short-term stability in order to secure long-term dominance. They are operating with a timeline that extends far beyond a single season. And once you understand that, every single move begins to make perfect, undeniable sense.